So good afternoon to you. Good afternoon all, and welcome one more time to your afternoon drive with Mapunga J, broadcasting live from Johannesburg here on your afternoon channel, where we are discussing African politics, African science, African medicine, African governance systems, witchcraft, our music, our art, our fashion, our foods, and everything else between. The whole idea is to get the African people beginning to have conversations around our own narratives. Fully aware, however, that the complexion of any storyline, the complexion of any narrative is that of its own author. And until we as African people begin to write our own stories, we would remain as the uncivilized barbarians who are loitering on the face of Africa, waiting for some colonial people to come and take us and improve and help us to becoming better people. And frankly speaking, I am not here to be feeling sorry or sympathizing for any reason whatsoever for us as African people. For once, we seem to fight for certain things and we end up getting other things. For argument's sake, we start off saying we are fighting for our political freedom. But we forget that inside political freedom, it must also come with economic freedom. It must come with spiritual freedom. It must come with artistic freedom. It must come with fashion freedom, medicine freedom. It must come with engineering freedom, agricultural freedom. Our freedom must be complete with all the necessary components that build a nation to be independent. For if we truly say that we are independent, our independence must be inclusive to all the issues that make us sovereign in our own right. But as long as we are independent and yet our politics is still being managed, it is still being supervised, it is still being controlled by the Western countries. You and I know very well that that independence is, but it is short-lived. It's like a dog, an elephant that has been put on a leash. It cannot go further than the rope itself. So I want to challenge the African people in whatever profession that you are in, be it in medicine, be it in science, be it in engineering, in writing, storytelling, in theater, in music, be it that you are into retail, into banking, insurances, construction. It does not matter where you are. Start an African revolution. Collect the information that you've gathered. Make your way home and let's see how we can begin to develop new African solutions to our own African problems. We need new TV programs. We need new monitoring systems altogether. We need new banking systems. We need to take what we have been oppressed with and improve it so that it can begin to favor us as the principals and the producers of the raw materials that the whole world is looking for. I would want to challenge us as black people around the continent, from Honolulu to Timbuktu, Australia, New Zealand, China, Bangkok. I don't know where you are in India or you're in Europe, you are in South America, you're in South Africa, Central and Eastern, Northern Congo, up to Nigeria and Algeria. Wherever you are as a black person, whether you're in diaspora or you're on the continent, begin to harvest the content of our colonial systems, and let's walk back home and see how we can begin to improve this, our beautiful continent as Africa. I have a dream that if the African people can begin to think in a certain direction, we will also make it. I know to many people it might sound like it's a long dream, far off from being attained, and they say we have gone too far to turn back. But I have good news for you. It took them a few years, a few hundred years to take us where we are now as colonizers. And if we can begin now also as Africans, it will take us a few more years, if not a century or two also. We will be where we want to be. For that reason, therefore, we do not have to kill the African dream because we've gone too far. No matter how long it is that you've been eating a poison, the day you discover it's a poison, it's not too late to stop and start doing things right. I have a dream for the African people that we can begin to rewrite our own narrative, our own stories. Please keep on checking me on my Facebook pages, check me on my YouTube channels, subscribe and whatever. We are now under surveillance from the powers that be, but we will not give up. We're willing to lay down our lives for this very cause. Until we meet again next time on your afternoon drive with Mapunga J, I wish you all the blessings of the Lord, blessings of Allah, Krishna, whatever you believe in. And after you have believed in all of them, find out as an African what is it exactly that you believe in, and find your own God. For this whole battle is about spiritual captivity. If you capture a people, capture their God also. Mapunga J, Chigaramboko.